Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the One-Shot Vlogs. The One-Shot Vlogs are exactly what they sound like. I'm going to film the whole thing in one shot. I'm not going to edit this, so you get whatever comes out of my mouth. And like I have said in previous videos, I'm very uncomfortable talking in front of a camera. But that being said, let's go. So I asked on Twitter what anyone would want to see me talk about in this video series, because I do want to make more and better use of my platform on YouTube as an author. And, as an author, and especially as an independent author, an indie author, I feel like there could be a lot of stuff for me to talk about. Hang on really quick, I just want to check my hair. Okay. So anyway, the question that was posed to me on Twitter by Anne. Hi, Anne. She wanted to know about building a romance plot, how to keep interest in the plot, how to keep interest in the characters, and how to move specifically a romance plot along. So, cool, because I write romance novels. All my novels are romance novels. So, but to talk about this, I think we need an example, right? I don't just want to pontificate to you. We need an example. So we're going to use Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I'd like to actually use Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility, since Elinor Dashwood is my favorite Jane Austen character. But I mean, I don't know. I have a forever book boyfriend crush on Darcy. Like, if there was a Darcy Elinor crossover fanfic, I'd be down. Does that exist? I'm sure that probably exists. If it does, please tell me about it in the comments. But anyway, so Elizabeth, what's Elizabeth's last name? Oh my wood. It's not Dashwood. Elinor Dashwood? Elizabeth. Bennet. Her last name is Bennet. See, the One-Shot Vlogs, you guys. Alright, so Elizabeth Bennet. We meet her in the story. She is the second eldest in a family of 4 girls. Her mother is batshit crazy. Her father is kind of removed from the whole scene, but we know he struggles with the fact that if one of his daughters doesn't marry, his estate gets forfeited to the next male relative. I'm talking with my hand over here, you just can't see it on camera. So right away, Austen built a character in Elizabeth that we could identify with. She's got family troubles, her sisters get on her nerves, her mother gets on her nerves, she loves her father, but she understands his situation. And then, later along in the book, we meet Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy strangely has Elizabeth's attention, but we think it's because he's such a prick. Darcy is so aloof and so disinterested that Elizabeth, in all her kind of righteous anger, really dislikes him. But she dislikes him a little bit too much. And his hostility towards her and her family is just a little bit too much. And in the beginning of the book, Austen is planting these seeds, these really strong emotion seeds that are going to bloom and come to fruition later in the book. But in terms of creating an interesting romance novel, she's begun it right there. She's given us a character in Elizabeth that we can instantly identify, and we can kind of be on Elizabeth's side in viewing Mr. Darcy at the beginning of the book, because he seems like such a highfalutin douchebag. So right away, there's feeling and interest for that main character. Okay? Now, as you're building that romance along, you need to make sure that your main characters, or your maybe just one main character, if your book is only taking the perspective of one main character. I know the trend a lot now is for books to have multiple kind of POVs, point of views, multiple main characters, and chapters switch between main characters, blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. But anyway, so where was I going? You guys, this is why this is hard. I'm determined not to film this another time. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You need to have something going on in the life of your main character that is external to the romance of the book. Okay? So what's going on for Elizabeth is she's struggling with knowing she needs to get married and the pressure that is on her to get married to keep the family's estate in the family line. Okay? So, a character that we care about, something going on in that character's life that's extemporaneous to the romance. And then there needs to be a conflict within the romance itself. In the case of Pride and Prejudice, it's that both Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy think the other is a jerk, right? Darcy judges Elizabeth on how proud she is when it doesn't seem like she should be proud coming from such a crazy family. It should seem like she should be a humble and demure woman looking to land a suitable partner, but she's not. She's very proud and she's very sure of her own self. Qualities that later become one of the many reasons he falls in love with her. On the other hand, Elizabeth looks at Darcy and doesn't understand how a man could seem so impressed with his own self, right? So their romance has a lot of conflict within itself. The thing about romance novels is a lot of times there isn't a villain if you're writing a contemporary romance novel. Sure, there could be a villain, there could be some douchebag ex-boyfriend, or there could be a love triangle where, one of the points is the less desirable and possibly hostile partner or prospect. But you need conflict within the romance itself, and that could be family strains, that could be political differences, religious differences, it could be characters coming from past and broken relationships and don't trust one another. It could be a myriad of things, but you need that conflict, okay? So let's recap. A main character that your reader will give a crap about. Something going on, I'm thinking as I'm saying this, something going on in that main character's life that has nothing to do with the romance. And thirdly, conflict within the romance itself, okay? You need these three things. And if you have these three things, you can string yourself along a very nice romance. Because the conflict within the romance obviously slowly gets resolved, right? The things that are happening outside of the romance continue to happen and make your characters look like full-fledged characters, right? And what was the third thing that I said? Oh, making your characters interesting. Well, you've already made your characters interesting and endeared them to your reader, okay? Writing a romance novel seems like it should be simple, but you don't want a romance novel that's just, cardboard cutout figures who fall in love the second that they meet. And you don't want their conflicts to seem petty. Like, he didn't return my phone call, so now I hate him. And unfortunately, there's actually a lot of books like that on the market. One very popular one currently with a main character whose name is pardon. The whole book is just them picking and being horrible at one another. Like, it's not real conflict, it's just pettiness. But I digress. If you would like to see me go off on books that glamorize, not abusive, but abusive and unhealthy relationships, let me know, because I'll go grab my soapbox and stand up on it and scream to the high heavens. However, I think we have nicely covered today's topic, which was how to create a well-rounded romance novel, right? You need a character that your reader can care about. You need things going on in that character's life that are extemporaneous from the plot. And you need conflict within the romance. And I think that pretty well covers it. So, this vlog was a little bit rambly. I own that. I apologize. It's what you get with the one-shot vlogs. I love suggestions. Please leave them below. Remember that the link to all my books is always below. In the meantime, my name is Bree. This is the One Shot Vlogs. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.